What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, the boy Frank, back at you with another video. And today we're going to be talking about a middle schooler makes 800 up to $800 a day. All right. So this was obviously my bad, y'all. But this this video basically happened like a while back. Probably like 5+ years ago. You know, when this kid named Brian was in like middle school, like 6th grade or something like that. So what he used to do, he would think of ways to come up with money. You know, he was always trying to figure out what's trending and what he could do to make money off of it and stuff like that. So and him having that mindset, really helped him because during that time when he was in middle school, there was this trend or like this product that was very popular. That was very popular for about like 6 months, a little half a year, and we've also saw that happen again, but with a different product, which was fidget spinners back in like 2018, 17, 19, something like that, bro. So, and what this product was called, this product was called Silly Bands. Now, I don't think I ever like played with them, and during my time I didn't even see one. They were like non-existent when the time I was in middle school, so I don't really know much about them. But all I know is that silly bands are rubber bands and like shaped rubber bands. Like if there was like a rubber band, you could like make like those like pineapple rubber bands where there's a rubber band that was shaped into a pineapple, airplane, truck, stuff like that. So in middle school, a whole bunch of kids, like when Silly Bands came out, a whole bunch of kids were craving for these. A whole bunch of kids were buying these and stuff like that. Everybody at Brian's school, was obsessed with it. Was really hyped about it and stuff like that. So with this happening, Brian started to realize all this, with all the hype around it, stuff like that. He tried to figure out what is it himself, So goes up to like these two kids, something like that, and asks them what's the whole school riled up about and stuff like that, because he sees them wearing stuff with rubber bands, and then they ends up telling him about them, and then they telling him where he could get it from. So like at that time, they were selling just a regular pack of silly bands for like a pack of like silly bands of like 15 of them, and they're like for $5 or $10. I don't really remember the cost, but they weren't. They were like really cheap. They were really cheap, and like there'll also be like the common ones, and then like rare ones, super rare and stuff like that, and so he ends up asking them how much could he like sell them for, stuff like that, and they ended up telling him he could sell it for like $20. It depends on how rare it is and stuff like that. So he gets his idea to research it to see how much each each rare kind would cost, because he was trying to figure out, not trying to figure out, but he was mainly thinking about buying all the rare ones, each of some rare ones, and buying like a good amount in there and selling it, so he can make money off of it. So he ends up going to ask his parents after he had done the research of it and stuff like that, and seeing how much they cost, and see how much he would possibly sell them for. You know, he asked his parents if he could use his birthday money to buy like, a whole bunch of packs of silly bands, and like so they're just like sure, but also confused on why he was going to spend it on silly bands. So his parents let him use $100 of his birthday money to use that to buy on silly bands, because you know the amount of silly bands he had got, of each of some rare kinds were all like up to 100 and stuff like that. So the next day at school, since he heard he buys it and stuff like that, gets them all shipped to him and stuff like that. So he gets it next day at school. He goes to a group of three kids, and he shows the group these three kids like what he has inside of his bag, right? Because remember, he bought like a bunch of these rare and common silly bands. So he ends up unzipping his book sack and shows hold on, okay. And he shows the kids, he shows them what he has, and then he ends up picking up which ones they want, and he ends up like selling each of the ones that they picked out, because they only picked out like one, I think. And since they were rare, like I said, he ended up selling them for like $20 a piece, and so they end up all three of them end up buying it. He made like $60 off that. So the crazy part is, after they bought it, they went around. They told a whole bunch of people at school that this kid at their school was selling a whole bunch of silly bands and stuff like that, and they were like rare and stuff like that. So by the end of the day, man's completely sold out, bro. Like all the silly bands that he had bought are completely gone. Like he like completely sold all of it, bro. So he comes home with up like $700, bro. $700 in one day. So since he made $700 in one day, he continues to do the same stuff and research on more of the new rare silly bands that comes out, and the process just keeps repeating on and on and on for months and months and months. You know, so until the final month comes, where you know, the final month comes where everything starts to slow down. The hype around the silly bands is coming to an end. And once Brian realizes that when he comes to school and tries to do his daily runs of selling the silly bands he bought, right, and you know not bad, y'all, it's fucking late, but he does his daily runs of it, and he realizes that the kid, because at that time he was selling one of the rare silly bands for like $40, and so kid did not take that offer, and so he ended up dropping it down to $20, and then he ended up buying it. So that told him that, all right, well, it seems like the hype is going down with these silly bands here, because all around the school he realized that not a lot of people were wearing silly bands anymore, because before, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, when it first started, the whole school was wearing silly bands. So now he comes to a realization that not as much people wearing silly bands anymore. So he ends up stopping, and he just puts an end to it and saying, "Nah, but the hype is going down. I think it's time for me to pack it up and to stop." You know, and you know, and you realize when like a hype something is gonna come to an end, because one, not that much people rocking whatever it is. Two, not that people are like liking it, and I mean they're getting bored of it and tired of it. And three, the people who once wore it are now shaming the people and saying that it's cringe and not cool to the people who are still rocking it and wearing whatever it is, bro. So now the crazy part is that out of all these 6 months of him selling silly bands, he never got caught. He never got caught. And like I said, the first day of him buying, he researched all the silly bands and stuff like that, rare kinds, common kinds, you name it, selling them for different prices and stuff like that. apiece, and first day he makes 700, bro. He keeps doing it, and for some reason the school never caught him doing it. They never caught him in the act, and they caught him in the process of doing it, bro. That probably is the worst school ever when it comes to catching down someone and they're like selling schemes, not schemes, but just catching someone selling stuff, bro. Like, how did you not know? Usually, it doesn't take them that long to just stop, catch someone selling goods and shit like that to students, bro. I don't know why they even do that in the first place, but that man got his money up. The other bad part about it is that his since he's a kid, bro, and he really doesn't have that much space to put it at. Finds a safe, or I think he bought a safe, or he just got one, and he puts the money in there. And one day, while his mom was cleaning, or I think it's both of parents, one of them, but one of the parents was cleaning. The safe ends up dropping, and uh, all the money came out. And it was pretty sure it was like a lot. I don't know how much it was, but yeah, let's just say it was over 10K, bro. Imagine whole like $10,000 of it in a safe just immediately, just randomly, just drops out of the safe in your son's room. And so, later that day when he gets home from school, they end up, looking pissed at him, kind of, and confused on why he has a whole safe of like $10,000, I guess, in his safe. And he explains that he had made all of that off of silly bands and selling it and stuff like that. They didn't believe him, so he ends up showing them his eBay or like wherever he was buying them from. He's buying the silly bands from. He just ended up showing them his ordering, his buying history and shit like that, and they believed him. But all the other bad part about it is that they end up taking away from him, and putting it in his savings account until he turned 18, so he could use it. Fair, but not really. Alright, but that's gonna be the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. This video is being posted on Mother's Day, so not most people are probably gonna watch it, but it's fine, bro. Well, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.